Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, in this video presentation, we are going to presenting about our group report regarding investment game. Okay, before we are going through our presentation today, let's take a look at the content of our presentations. Okay, firstly, we are going to talk about the company backgrounds, and there are 5 companies, which is Samdabi Berhad, Malaysia Pacific Industry Berhad, Gas Malaysia, GHL, and also KGB. On each company, we are going to give the analysis, and there are 2 types of analysis, which is the fundamental analysis and also the technical analysis. Okay, and at the end of presentations, we are going to give decisions and recommendation on which company is the best.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noati Ramiti Muhammad Rozi. My metric number is 1200799. So now I'm going to present the first company, which is Samdabi. Samdabi Berhad is a Malaysian-based investment holding company. Its segment includes the industrial, motor, logistic, healthcare, and others. The industrial segment is engaged in sale, rental and servicing of equipment and engineering service. First of all, I'm going to explain the fundamental analysis of Samdabi, which is the earning per share. Earning per share of Samdabi company during 2022 shows the company capacity in generating net profit. The Samdabi EPS is 0.162 compared to 2021 was 0.209. It shows that they are having a falling earnings. This explains that Samdabi Berhad performance in this recent year are not satisfied. Next is the price to earning that compare a company share price to its earning per share. Samdabi price to earning from 2022 is 14.39, which range from 10 to 25. Indicates that the stock price is high, which means that the stock price is rising and the future earnings are expected to be high, but the risk of loss is also high. Third fundamental analysis of Samdabi Berhad was gross profit margin. Their gross profit margin on that year is 8%, which considered low, and it has insufficient cash on hand to cover indirect and other costs such as interest and one-time expense. Samdabi reported that they only made 0.8 cents for every RM 1 ringgit of sales revenue, which can be used to cover the general expense. Next is return on equity ratio of the Samdabi was 6.9% compared to last year report of ROE was 9.2%. It's explained that Samdabi management team are less effective in utilize their sources to generate profit for the company. Lastly, the price to book. Price to book give an investor an effective approach in finding undervalued company to be invest. In this case, it helps them to identify and avoid overvalued company. The price to book for Samdabi was 0.966, that less than 1. This value signals to the investor that the stock may be undervalued. Next, I'm going to present the technical analysis of Samdabi company. On the graph, the blue line is indicated as the support level while the red line indicates as the resistance level. On early February, the price was below the support level, which is known as support breakdown. However, it started to have an uptrend until the first resistance line on March at price level RM2.35. The stock price shows a downtrend until the end of March, creating a second support line at the price of RM2.21. From the second support line, the price keep rising and having uptrend until the early April penetrate the first resistance line and produce new resistance line. The next indicator that could be used for the investor is the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. MACD indicator work as the entry pointer, either the stock should be buy or sell. The blue line indicate the MACD line while the orange line indicate the line signal. On early February, MACD line are crossing above signal line. This explains the investor to buy the stock as it shows the price is low. It can be seen in the green circle. After that, point of crossing, the stock price will rising greatly. This situation keep repeating on March 22, June 7, October 4, and December 14. While the sell signal can be seen when the MACD line crossing under the signal line. In the picture, we could tell that sell signal can be seen on the pink circle. The MACD indicator shows the investor to sell the stock since the price will having a downtrend. On March 4, the MACD line was crossing under signal line and the stock price decreased respectively until March 22. It's repeatedly happened on April 2, June 15, August 8, and November 29. The last indicator that could be used is RSI, Relative Strength Index. This technical indicator measures the price changes in certain time to analyze the situation in the market, either it's reached oversold or overbought. In RSI, under 30 indicate oversold because the price become underpriced, while above 70 indicates overbought. In the picture, the blue circle indicates overbought situation at the early April, which means the price was high and the stock were overbought. The investor should sold the stock. However, on the early June, the yellow circle shows the oversold situation where the price is at the lowest, and the investor should buy the stock. Same goes at the August. The RSI indicator shows stock was overbought and should be sold.
My name is Nur Hidayatul Husna binti Ahmadi. My metric number is 1200816. I'm going to present about Malaysian Pacific Industry Berhad, which is among the company that we have selected to present in this video. So, Malaysian Pacific Industry Berhad is an investment holding which under the technology semiconductor industry. The company has business presence across Asia, the United States of America and Europe. MPI is headquartered in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. MPI is a subsidiary of Hong Leong Group, and among its principal activities include manufactures, assembles, tests, and sell integrated circuits, semiconductor devices, electronic components, and lead frames through its subsidiaries. Furthermore, its subsidiaries include Karsam Malaysia Sdn Berhad, Karsam Holding Hong Kong Limited, Karsam Semiconductor Company Limited, Dynacraft Industries Sdn Berhad, Karsam Incorporation, and Karsam Holding Limited. The table indicates the fundamental analysis to measure the performance of Malaysian Pacific Industry Berhad by using quantitative techniques. The first ratio used is earning per share. The company has an EPS of 1.66 cents compared to 1.37 cents in 2021. This means that the company earned 1.66 cents in net income for every share of common stock it owned. Since the company's EPS is positive, it means that the company earns profit from every share it owns, which is a good reason to invest in the company. The following ratio is the price-earning ratio. The company's price-earning ratio is 22.15 times. The company has a favorable PE ratio, indicating that the investor will pay a reasonable price for the company's stocks. Subsequently is gross profit margins. The company has a gross profit margin which is 21%, meaning that the gross profit margin might be considered low and it have insufficient cash on hand to cover indirect and other costs such as interest and one-time expenses. MPI gained only 0.21 cents for every RM1 ringgit of sales revenue. It means the gross profit margins indicate that the entire business are generating strong sales price and unfavorable indicator to trade in this stock because the lower the profit margins, the weaker the company's financial performance. The following ratio is the return on equity. The MPI ROE was 15.6% compared to its competitor D&O Greentech, which is 20.91%. In this case, D&O Greentech performed significantly better than MPI. However, MPI still has a positive ROE, which means it is successful in generating cash from its investors' capital. Finally, the price-to-book ratio is 3.51, indicating that the company was overvalued and that the market may adjust the company's asset value, resulting in a negative return for investors. Next is technical analysis. As we can see from the graph, it shows the stock price trend for Malaysian Pacific Industry Berhad for 1 year 2022. The blue line on the graph is support level and the red line is resistance level. From the graph, we can see that from the support one, the price fluctuates up and down, not passing through resistance one. However, on 17 March 2022, it became the uptrend, which the price goes up from 22 ringgit 83 cent until 35 ringgit 6 cents, which exceeds resistance one and create new resistance that will reflect the price. Then, a new support has created and the downtrend occurred until it exceeds the new support, indicating that it is not a good signal to sell the stock due to lower price it can go, which is 29 ringgit 70 cent on 30 May 2022. Moreover, Relative Strength Index (RSI) is a relative indicator that measures price change over time to determine whether it has reached the oversold or overbought. From the RSI indicator, we can find out overbought and sell signal if the line graph exceeds 70. Meanwhile, oversold and buy signal is determined if the graph line below 30. We can see the overbought is on 1 December 2022 with the price 31 ringgit 65 cent, indicating that investors should sell the stock, and the lowest oversold is on 8 March 2022 with the price 26 ringgit 94 cent, give signal to the investor to buy the stocks. The last indicator is MACD or Moving Average Convergence Divergence. MACD indicates buy signal when the MACD line makes a cross above the signal line when it is below zero. Meanwhile, the sell signal is shown if the MACD lines make a crossing below the signal line. Based on the table, MACD line is shown in the blue line and signal line is in red. Therefore, we can see the buy signal on 4 November 2022, which the price that investor can buy the stock with only 24 ringgit and 12 cent and sell again on 21 December 2022 with the starting price 30 ringgit 61 cent.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Izzam binti Muhammad Isam. Nurul Izzam binti Muhammad Isam. Matric number 1200X01. So for the third company is Gas Malaysia. Gas Malaysia is a natural gas distribution in Malaysia and it is located in Shah Alam, Selangor. Gas Malaysia is one of the companies that affected with the COVID-19. So the company had to adapt the new technologies, but they still managed to reach a larger audience during COVID-19. They apply 3 key pillars, which is economic, environmental, and social. So next, we go through to the fundamental analysis. For the first one is the earning per share EPS of Gas Malaysia is 0.194. EPS is defined as Gas Malaysia total profit divided by their numbers of shares outstanding. Gas Malaysia has a good earning per share because the company still manage to maintain so many profit instead getting the negative EPS. Secondly, price to earning ratio is known as PE ratio or PER, means that the ratio of company share price to the company earning share price. Gas Malaysia price to earning is 11.23, shows that it's quite low than the average PE ratio range in the market, but it also dependent on the company's competitor. Thirdly, gross profit margin GMP of Gas Malaysia is 7%. It means that for every ringgit of revenue generated by the company, RM 0.07 is retained, while RM 0.93 goes to cost of goods sold. Next, return on equity ROE is to measure the profitability of Gas Malaysia related to their equity. Their return on equity is 32.5%. 416, which is it can be seen as the higher ROE in the average market, but also effective in generating profit from their existing asset. And lastly, Gas Malaysia price to book PB is 3.613, showing that Gas Malaysia has a good price to book since the value is positive one instead of negative. Negative value means that the company spend in more liabilities than the asset. This indicator to see for the support and resistance. We can see that from the support one, the price maintain up and down, not passing through the resistance one, but on 1 November 2022, it become the downtrend, which it is exceed the support one and create new support that will reflect back the price. After that, a new resistance has created, and the uptrend exists until it exceeds the resistance one, meaning that it's a good chance and opportunity to sell the stock due to the high price. It can go, which is RM 3.45 on 23rd November 2022. Next, for the MACD, known as Moving Average Convergent Divergent, to determine the momentum price and short-term trend. As you can see, the example of sell signal is on 1 November until 7 November 2022, which is the graph is red color, and it has become a downtrend movement with the same situation for the support and resistance indicator above. From the graph, the buy signal exists on 9 November 2022 with the lowest price that investor can consider buying the stock, which RM 3.20, and waiting for the sell signal again on 11 November 2022 with the starting price is RM 3.33 and above. For the last graph is Relative Strength Index, RIS, which is the indicator to measure the price change in a certain time, whether it has reached oversold or overbought. From RSI indicator of Gas Malaysia above, overbought and oversold line consists of the purple line, meanwhile buy and sell consists of orange line. We can see that the overbought is on 10 November 2022 with the price RM 3.3939, showing the investor should sell the stock, and oversold is on 25 October 2022 with the price RM 3.23, motivate the investor to buy the stock at that moment.
The share system Berhad is one of the professional and commercial services industry, which is they provided payment system solution around the world, especially in ASEAN. So this company has processed over 1.5 billion payment transactions around the world, and it has been listed in Bursa Malaysia since 2003. In fundamental analysis, we use valuation analysis to decide whether the company we choose is good enough for us to trade. So the ratio that we put is earning per share, or EPS, which is about 0.024 for each share. Next, the price to earnings, which is the value is 29.58, and next one is gross profit margin, which is 39% of the stocks. Next one is return on equity, or ROE, which is 5.3%, and the last one is price to book, which is we got the value 2.07. Okay, for the price earning share, it is quite low compared to the other competitor. Maybe this not good enough to be trade, but if we compare the price earning for GHL is much lower than the other competitor, like Skicom, Frank, KN, HMAX, and so on. Okay, But what it have influenced us to buy these stocks is because the price to book ratio, which is the price to book ratio is above than 1, which is it indicates that the company is good enough to trade because it is at the lower price, and a lot of investors we think that this price will rise again to the top. And we got some news at the moment. We want to trade this stock from the H market, that they said that UHS System Berhad is partnering global cross-border digital payments and marketing solution with Alipay to enable foreign travelers visiting Malaysia to pay using their domestic mobile e-wallets at over 40,000 retail outlets. H market, November 2022. So this news had taught us that the company is expanding their capital and their business around the world. So this will increase the revenue for the company, and it will give the positive vibe for the stocks. That's why although the valuation for this company is quite low and not so good, but with this news we believe that this price these stocks can rise up for short term. Okay, now let's look at the JHL technical analysis. Okay, for these stocks we decided to use 4 indicators in order to decide whether we want to buy or sell the stocks. Okay, so the 4 indicators is first, supply and demand, support resistance. Second, MACD or moving average convergence divergence, and next one RSI, relative strength index, and the last one is stochastic. Okay, so let's move on the supply and demand first. Okay, so for the supply and demand, we can see in the slide the trend at the moment we want to buy the stock is a downtrend, and what interesting is the price at the moment at the support line, which is in line with previous support and resistance, or what we call is resistance become support. Okay, if you see in the slide, the previous long time ago they have resistance. Okay, so after the resistance and come some resistance minor, and at the slide I do this. Okay. We can see in this slide I have put the SBR zone. What is SBR zone? SBR zone is support become resistant. Okay, RBR zone, rally base rally. Okay, when the bullish candle, bearish candle, and bullish candle. So the between the cross between the bullish and bearish candle is what we call is zone for us to entry the stock. Okay, so by using the support resistance indicator, okay, at the same time there also okay. So the next indicator we use is moving average convergence divergence, or simply said as MACD. Okay, not the MACD one, but the MACD in analysis. Okay, so if we look at the MACD, okay, we can see that at the moment we want to decide whether to buy or sell the stocks, we can see that at that time there is a buy signal. Okay, why? Because the MACD line cross over the signal line at the under the point of zero. This is what we call as the golden crossover, and it means it indicates that this is the very strong signal to buy the stocks. So it support the supply and demand analysis before. Next one is RSI. In RSI, we want to indicate that whether the price is oversold or overbought. Okay, when the price is overbought, so we must sell the stock. When the price is oversold, that is the time where we want to buy the stock. Okay, if you look at in the slide, in the picture I put in the slide, so we can see that the price is going oversold. Why? Because the value of the RSI is below than 30, so it means it is oversold. So that will strengthen our analysis before that moment is the right time to buy the stocks. And the last one we use is stochastic. Stochastic is quite similar to the RSI indicator, but it is more sensitive than the RSI. So sometimes it may be false signal, and sometimes it can be early signal for us. Like for example, at the slide, okay, at the slide, the stochastic value is oversold at the moment 31st October 2020. Okay, so it is the same. The analysis is the same like analysis before. Same with RSI, same with MACD, same with support and resistance. So yes, and after that, after the oversold, it become overbought. Okay, and if it become the overbought, that is the time when we want to close the position. Okay, it helps us to find where is our zone to take the profit for our stocks. So that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Syahmi bin Saadun. I will presenting about Kellington Group Berhad, known as KGB. Okay, Kellington Group Berhad was established in year 1999 and subsequently listed on Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad in 2009. The company provides various engineering services for a wide range sector. The business include turnkey services from initial designs work to fabrications and maintenance services. Okay, let's take a look at the fundamental analysis. In the market share, KGB has a total of 1.007 billions of market capital and 645.2 million numbers of share. Okay, next is the earning per share of the company. Earning per share of the company is as much as 0.07 cents. Okay, the EPS can indicate whether the company is healthy or not in terms of financial, because the higher the earning per shares, the higher profit they can get. Okay, next is the price earning ratio. The price earning ratio is 20.74, which can be categorized as a good price to earning ratio. This is because the average price earning ratio is between 13 to 15. This shows that the investor are willing to pay a higher price of share to the company because of the expectation for the company's growth in the future. Okay, next is the gross profit margin. The gross profit margin is as much as 12.4%. Okay, based on the percentage, we can see how much the company can turn sales into profit. For example, for every 1 ringgit, the company can earn 12 cents. Okay, next is the return of equity. The return of equity is 21.8%. The higher the return of equity, the higher company efficiency in managing equity and generating profits. Okay, and lastly is the price to book ratio for KGB is 4.52. The ratio is important to investors as it helps them to make sure that the market price is reasonable. Okay, next we go for technical analysis. There are four indicators that being used for the technical analysis, which is firstly the support and resistance, and it is actually the supply and demand for the market. Okay, there are also RSI, relative strength index, and MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and lastly the stochastic. Okay, let's go to the first indicator. Okay, the first indicator for the technical analysis is about support and resistance. Okay, based on the graph, we can see that on the 6th October of 2022, the price of the stock begins to fall and show downward trend from 1 ringgit 34 cents and continue to fall below the support level on 17th October at price 1 ringgit 20 cents. Okay, the price are falling because of an excess of supplies over demand. Okay, then and on 25th October, the price starting to show an upward trend begin at price 1 ringgit 23 cents and continue increasing until resistance level at price of 1 ringgit 35 on 2nd November. Okay, next is we are using the relative strength index known as RSI on 1st December. The RSI indicator reached above 70 and can be labeled as overbought. And if the indicator reach below the scale of 20, then it can be considered as oversold and it is recommended for investor to buy the shares. Okay, next is about moving average convergence divergence indicator known as MACD. Okay, MACD indicator indicate buying and selling signal to investor. The blue line is for MACD lines and the orange line is for the signal line. Okay, on 23rd September, the orange line crossed over the blue line and it indicates sell signal to the investor. On 28th October, the blue line is crossing over the orange line and it indicates buying signal for the investor.
Okay, for the last one is for the decision and recommendation. From the 5 company that we presented in this report, we decided to invest in Gas Malaysia and GHL System Berhad. Gas Malaysia are one of the companies that survived during COVID-19, as we know that most companies or business had to close down because affected with the pandemic. Gas Malaysia giving a positive outlook from every aspect. For example, their net income is increasing about 53.40% more than 2021 and net profit margin change in the year 2022 is 13.75%. We can see that Gas Malaysia can give a good performance and will have an excellent growth in the future. For the second company is GHL System Berhad. We consider by the product that they offer can give benefit to the people surrounding. For example, e-wallet. We can see that people now prefer to use QR code or bank card than having a cash in their wallet. We believe that this company can grow out more because our country is slowly changing to cashless mode, and not just in Malaysia but around the world too. We can summarize that their revenue is increasing from the year 2021 to 2022 for about 20.89%, means that the profit they can increase 20%. At the same time, net income change in the year is 28.34%. Looking at this kind of good performance, it will guarantee the investor a magnificent result to invest for their stock.